am Stacey Ann, the Melanin Principessa, and welcome to my channel. So you have been hearing all about saving money, starting an investment, starting your own business, and even putting money away for the future. But you're looking all around you and you simply can't find enough money to put any of these savings goals to the test. Well, stay with me today and I will give you some information on minimalism and how you can use this approach to rummage up all the funds you have available to you. I will also get you started by identifying 3 life areas on which you can start utilizing this very approach immediately. Thank you for staying with me. Before I continue, I'd like to remind you to like this video if you like the information in it. Subscribe, of course, if you'd like to see more content similar to this. And of course, share this video if it is that there are other persons that you believe will benefit from the information provided here. Alright, so let's get into it. Minimalism, the concept of minimalism and the very idea of becoming a minimalist is one that scares many persons. However, I can assure you there is no need to be scared. Embarking on a minimalism journey is one that is personal, and the reason for it therefore differs from person to person. Minimalism, by definition, simply put, is the removal of the unnecessaries to focus on what is important. It is you decluttering or simplifying your life to your most minimal level. However, for the purposes of this video, we will be focusing on minimalism from the angle of how it can be advantageous from a monetary perspective. We will be simply looking at how we can use this concept or this journey to bring about additional cash into our lives. Alright, so now that you have heard the definition of minimalism, you're likely now wondering, how does one get started on such a journey? You know, what decisions would you need to make in order to make this a worthwhile journey for you? You will have to start asking yourself certain questions. You know, what is it that you're currently doing, or what is it that you currently have that you can do without? What is the goal that you are trying to achieve? What are you willing to sacrifice to get to these goals? Now, in answering these questions, the first thing that you will have to consider is standard. Now, as I mentioned before, this journey is personal. This means that there will be no comparison to anyone else's. There isn't an established rule or guideline, only the one that you are about to create for yourself. And this will be solely based on how much of a sacrifice you are willing to make, how much of a sacrifice you are able to make. Once you have established this standard for yourself, then you will start to prioritize. Prioritizing is best done if it is written out. Having the information in a physical form will help eliminate the gray areas. So there won't be any fuzzy lines, and you will instead have a clear path that you are following. My suggestion is to grab a book and a pen and create 4 lists. You're going to title the first list important, title the second list not so important, title the third list of little importance, and the 4th list you would title of no importance. I find it's easier, or it's best, when you keep the titles simple, because then you're easier able to tell where each item fits. That's my personal preference. So what is it that is going to go on these lists? Well, this is where you start thinking. This is where you start to look at where your money is being spent, where it is being spent on a regular or routine basis, where it has already been spent, or where it may possibly be spent. You would then identify those items and you write them on the list to which it most fits. Once you have done that, then you will have a clear guideline as to what you can remove from your life. So as promised, I am going to be identifying 3 life areas on which you can immediately start utilizing the minimalism concept. The first area, and likely the most obvious, is physical items. So of course you're stating, well, having physical items or getting rid of physical items won't get me money. Yes, it will. It's all dependent on how you get rid of these items. You would, in this instance, sell the items. There are many online resources that can facilitate this process. Big websites such as Amazon, eBay, Craigslist, you can trade in your items, you can sell used items. Just simply drop a search into Google and you'll be able to find these websites or these places that you can use to facilitate this process, right? Just take a look around your house. The first place that you can start is in your closet. Do you have items in there in very good condition that you are not wearing? Something that you may have worn once or twice before, something that even still has a tag on it, you can sell them. There are some items in your home that are simply there for, I don't know, to take up space, right? You can sell these items. You can trade in old appliances, items that you are no longer using, and you would be surprised at the value that this returns for you. So as I mentioned, this is the easiest area from which you can start immediately getting funds. It's also one of the easier areas that you can determine for yourself whether or not there are items that you can declutter or get rid of. And there's no limit to the physical items that you can get rid of. It can be as small as a clothing item up to as much as a car. Again, it's dependent on your goals and what you're willing to sacrifice. It can be decor around your home. It can be books that you have already read. It's any physical item. Anything that you were willing to purchase, someone else is also wanting that item and is willing to purchase it at a used price. The second life area that I would like to mention today is memberships and subscriptions. Now I'm going to tell you this. If some of us log into our online banking and take a look at our statement, we'd be surprised at the number of recurring payments we have for memberships or subscriptions that we are not using at all or use very rarely. This is definitely something that you can cut and you would immediately start recuperating money from that area. These can include a gym membership that you're probably not using, and even if you are using it, you can consider exercising at home. There are subscriptions relating to storage. You may have, for example, some sort of a cloud storage that you're paying for monthly. You may have upgraded your phone to one that has a lot more space and you are actually not in use or in need of this additional storage that you're paying for every month. There is also your cable subscription. Many persons have gone to the usage of Netflix and not utilizing the cable service as much anymore. You're probably not even home as often to use this membership. You can cancel that and utilize Netflix, for example, only. Other subscriptions that you can look at is probably Prime. Now, many persons utilize the Prime membership for the purposes of the shipping benefit that it gives. Now, while there are many offerings that come with the Prime subscription, if it is that you're not utilizing all of them, then it simply doesn't make sense to have it all the time. If it is that you're going to shop, then you do have the option of paying for a month's usage, and then you can do your shopping within that period. If there's a month in which you are not going to be doing as much shopping, then cancel the Prime subscriptions for those periods. You may have even subscribed to something that you had forgotten about. You may have even started a free trial that turned into a subscription that you are unaware of. So take out your bank statement and have a look. It is important that we know exactly where our money is being spent. The third life area that I would like to mention today is dependencies. Now, is there any family member that you are responsible for? Do you live in a household where there are shared responsibilities? If yes, I would like you to ask yourself this question. Are you paying more than your fair share? Are you paying more simply because you have a bigger income or you have a bigger heart? If you are caring for a parent and you are not an only child, then chances are that the amount spent on the parent should be shared equally amongst all siblings. If you are living in a household where there are shared utilities or rent, etc., ensure that these bills are split fairly and not necessarily evenly. Well, that's it for today, guys. I guarantee you that if you should formalize this concept and look at the life areas that I have mentioned today and others, you will definitely be able to get some additional cash to use towards those savings goals. Now look out for my next video. It will be on frugal living, and you can definitely use those concepts or those ideas to further enhance the minimalism concept and the savings that you can get from it. And lastly, before I go, of course, I'd like to share with you a quote. It is from Henry David Thoreau. He says, "We make ourselves rich by making our wants few." Stick to the necessities and you will be surprised at how much additional cash you have at hand.